What's up, y'all? Welcome into LA Sports Brotherhood. It's me, Brian, here with my brother Matthew. And I know in the last Laker video, we said we would be live, ready for all free agency updates for the Lakers. And it's been a week since the last Laker video. And that's because it has been over a week of inactivity from the Lakers. We've had the Max Christie resign, which happened early enough for us to talk about it. And then, since then, literally not a single thing has happened. They have missed on free agents. I won't say countless free agents because I don't know how many they were in the market for. But anybody whose name was linked to the Lakers have not gotten. Klay Thompson signed with the Mavs almost immediately after we posted the last video. Jonas Valanciunas, was already gone. DeMar DeRozan went to the Kings. And as the names start to rattle off, I think beyond the disappointment of not getting a couple of them, what really stands out as you look at the contracts, etc., is that they were never even in a real position to get these players. LeBron talked about a pay cut, or like he had Rich Paul leak that he would take a massive pay cut. And I believe he would have if they signed Clay, maybe, but like regardless, the pay cut didn't even help, or the theory of a pay cut didn't even particularly help because the Lakers just simply had no cash to do anything that they wanted to do. And that is a fault of the roster building, but that's the reality we're at now. We are 8 days into free agency, and this is the most boring free agency frenzy weekend, whatever it could be, I've ever seen as a Laker fan. But that does not mean it is a failure particularly. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, Matt, with all the inactivity, we know it's just bad for the sport, realistically. It's good for media that want to make fun of the Lakers, but would you consider the offseason so far a failure?
Honestly, yeah. Thinking about how Lakers are coming off 2 seasons where they lost 8 games to the Nuggets and won one of them, and from 2023 to 2024, kind of marginal upgrades like here or there, Gabe Vincent over Schroeder, Troy and Prince over Troy Brown. Not much of an upgrade. Then same thing, losing the Nuggets first round upgrade, and absolutely nothing happens. So I mean, I'm not a guy particularly saying, "Oh my God, why did we not get Jonas Valanciunas? He is Shaq himself. We should have had him." I'm not necessarily there where like these guys are like live or die, but just the fact that we haven't done anything, like we haven't even cleared up a roster spot, like nothing, like absolutely nothing. So it's hard to me not to say it's a failure. But with that being said, it's just tough. To be honest, I'm kind of upset with like the whole Clay thing. It seems like we were really confident we were gonna land him because what was the league contract, like 20 mil or something like that.
Yeah, 4 for 80.
And I mean, I said I would have liked him, but to put everything on Clay Thompson, who can't really move anymore, I was a little bit upset about that. And I think they were so in on Plan A, and when that didn't happen, they just kind of fell out. No trades happened. The other thing though is it's tough to make a trade because it's like, okay, I want Jeremy Grant, I want Cam Johnson. All right, give us two first round picks. No, okay, never mind. It really is like a tough thing to do unless you're the Celtics. You can get Drew Holiday, but I don't know. I think the Lakers were in a tough position, like you said, because of the way they built this roster. I think it wasn't necessarily, and Frank, I think the most important thing is up until that leak about LeBron. Like I think you said this earlier, if there wasn't that rumor about the LeBron taking a pay cut, we were not players at all in this free agency. We would have had the 5 mil MLE. So my hopes weren't super high until that tweet leaked, and I mean, I thought they'd at least make one move. Torian Prince is gone. I think that's happened since the last time we recorded. Just no activity. Is basically to sum it up.
Yeah, I don't think this offseason is a failure because honestly that would be trading 2 firsts for some role player, or I was gonna say, or signing Jonas to a big deal, but then theoretically that would have forced LeBron to take a pay cut. So I don't know. There's a lot of moving pieces there. But they didn't do anything to hamstring the team for years to come, which is
Yeah.
what they have done in the past. Not necessarily under Palinka, except for the Russ trade, but just like the Mozgov and Dang signings, just every like there's so many little things or big things because those are very big deals that could have happened, and like the Lakers, the perceived desperation of the Lakers around the league is the reason they're being extorted out of these deals because LeBron putting pressure on the front office is fine, whatever. Every star has done this, but LeBron did it as publicly as possible. So when he LeBron is saying you have 3 days to figure this out, do you think trade negotiations with other teams are going to be fair? Do you think they're going to be like, oh, you're working under the gun, Lakers, a franchise that we hate the most, more than any of our normal rivals? We hate you. So I'm going to try to trade fairly and actually give you a little deal. No, Jeremy Grant, literally, the reports about the trade details with Jeremy Grant between the Blazers and the Lakers are the Blazers saw that the Lakers were desperate to make a move before LeBron signed his contract. So they said, no, actually give us 2 first round picks. That, like, the public discussions of pressure and, ooh, I want this to happen, whatever, that's fine for them to play their little chess match, the front office and LeBron, but it does not help the actual proceedings. And because Rob has been so vocal about how LeBron is in charge, basically in charge, which is the reason why everyone gets upset at LeBron. Well, not the only reason, but when we talk about the Russ trade and stuff, he's like, Rob has escaped the criticism for those moves because of the way he messages the media, like, "Hey, LeBron was a massive person in the process for deciding between Buddy Hield and Russ and DeMar DeRozan. LeBron, we did it for LeBron. Like LeBron was in the war room with us, like stuff like that. That's why you get LeBron doing what he's doing now and being so clear about how he wasn't involved with the coaching hire process, regardless of if it's true or not. There's no way it's true. All that to say, they have set themselves up in the worst way possible. And I don't know how you get out of it from a roster building standpoint. The team is worse than it was last year, just by virtue of losing Torian Prince and gaining nothing. I think the free agency stuff was not disappointing to me because I expected nothing to happen, like you were saying. Even after the league, it's like, hey, maybe we can get Clay for the MLE, but the second you have to trade a single asset for him and pay him a crazy contract, you don't do it. And they got saved by Klay Thompson's surprising being scared of the moment, which is really wild to me, actually. Like, I was legitimately surprised when he was so candid about saying he didn't want the pressure of living, or not living in LA, but like playing for a good team with expectations. Franchise, I should say, because the Mavs are a good team, but whatever. So yeah, I think the trade market is really the part, like, going into a summer league with more than the allowable number of players on your roster, which is fine. They're not going to get penalized for it yet. But why the hell is Cam Reddish still slated to wear a Laker uniform next year? Why are Jackson Hayes and Christian Wood both on the team? Like, they haven't done a goddamn thing, and it's not even frustrating. It's like genuinely confusing to me. I don't know what they're working on. You have to. This isn't just I want Cam Reddish gone. You literally need to clear space. This is not a legal roster, and they've not done crap. I was gonna say a much more flagrant word, but like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's just, that's why I called it, failure. It's why, like you said, I don't understand why they haven't done anything. Something as little as that, it just doesn't make sense to me. And I agree, with your point that like we didn't actively hurt our future the way we did with Mozgov. If we, we could have done it with Jonas or Clay or someone like that. And but with that being said, it's still like you haven't gotten better. I'm looking through the lens of like our history since 2020. We have not gotten better. We have gotten worse from a first round exit team that barely made the play in as the Lakers with LeBron and AD. With LeBron literally going to retire in the next like 3 years. And we gotten worse this offseason. And I the thing is we both already said this, didn't really expect much out of free agency, but not a single trade. But this whole thing has just gone like everything about the Lakers has just been so messy. The pay cut thing, and it's like like LeBron saying or Rich Paul saying, talking for LeBron, it's agent obviously, saying, "Oh yeah, if it's like a player worthy, then LeBron will take the pay cut." It's like, what are the Lakers supposed to do in that scenario? And I'm not blaming LeBron. I'm saying the way that tweet came out, the way the other front offices have seen that, and they know they're desperate. They hate the Lakers more than they love themselves. What are they supposed to do in that situation? There's already a Laker tax. Like there's been a Laker tax for quite some time now, and I really don't know where to go from there. I frankly I don't really even have any names. I don't have trade ideas, and like you said, we don't have a legal roster. So I don't know where to go from here. It's, I mean, this team couldn't even make the playoffs, and I mean, you're one injury away from another S show. And we both said this. I'll keep coming back to it. All we wanted was just have a smooth departure with LeBron's career, and it's not looking like it's going that way so far.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could wrap this up um, by saying they were very clear about how little they wanted to do this offseason. Rob Plinka openly twice in different press conferences talked about how difficult it was going to be, like preparing us for nothing. But even within that, there was still the idea of them getting better on the margins, quote unquote, and they just got worse. Got worse on the margins, but still got worse. But yeah, so you talked about trade targets. There are still, I don't even want to call them rumors because teams leak stuff about the Lakers, agents leak stuff about the Lakers being interested in players, just to inflate the market because people will sign someone just to make sure they're not Lakers. Case in point, the Kings trading for DeMar DeRozan for some reason because he was in the Lakers market, and Shams was like, "Yeah, the Lakers never even gave him an offer." So it's like genuine desperation from some teams, which is what the Lakers are perceived to have, and they should operate with some sense of urgency, not desperation, but like there has to be something, and it doesn't feel like there's that. Anyway, Jeremy Grant is still he's like the main target, it seems. Again, it's tough to see when the leaks are coming from non-Woj or like partially sham sources, but that seems to be where they're putting all their eggs in the basket in. Walker Kessler is allegedly gettable for a first round pick. Um, that's something I think the Lakers probably should do because you can trade Shafino out and give him like quasi first round pick value and just toss a first on top of it. Um, but yeah, there's like nothing. There's Gary Trent Jr.'s agents are trying to say that if the Lakers free up taxpayer MLE and he doesn't get an offer, he's gonna get he would sign with the Lakers. Not gonna happen. He's going to sign for at least $15 million. Just the same way that every single free agent ever, like Klay Thompson, was an MLE target and then he signs for $19 million a year. It's gonna not gonna happen that way. But this is I don't know. I don't know if this is the new CBA, like we're getting used to it, like this is the reality of free agency, or if it's simply that the Lakers stacked a roster with a bunch of players that you can't rely on, making enough money to keep the books full, but not enough money to meaningfully combine into any major deal without losing important players. So yeah, it's pretty much surprisingly somehow the roster construction to me is more of a disaster than this current like the free agency that's we've seen so far, and it's hard to say something more disastrous than that. Any last words before we get out of here, Matt?
I'll just Jeremy Grant move you? That happens.
The trade would have to be D'Lo and Rui. So if in the theoretical world where you get Jeremy Grant for one first round pick only, and the Gary Trent Jr. Lies are somehow true, and you use a first for Walker Kessler, then sure. But if the move is D'Lo and Rui, I think Jeremy Grant is 100% better than Rui. I'm not going to play the game that people online are trying to play with Rui because he scored 15 points a game when he became a starter. Grant's better than him, and he's a better defender. He's better shooter, whatever. Losing D'Lo for without having a guard to replace him will suck. And I wouldn't really be super happy about it. But I mean, Jeremy Grant would be the best player in that deal, so I wouldn't be upset about it. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. There's just a part of me that wants to get away from the D'Lo Reeves backcourt like so badly.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it hasn't worked the past 2 years, and like one of them isn't going to be consistent in the playoffs. I hate having to watch those two guys defend, and if they're not consistent. And I've also always loved Jeremy Grant. It's just the fact that Reeves is your point guard in that scenario.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be honest, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, honestly, if the price comes down from two firsts, which it won't, because the Blazers normally hate the Lakers, and now they think they're desperate and are trying to convince themselves that they're not rebuilding, so they want to keep a 30-year-old making $180 million the next 5 years. Great process, Blazers, for sure. Anyway, the Clippers will call them and trade Norman Powell back over there, and 2 seconds they'll get Jeremy Grant. But yeah, there's not a lot of avenues. It doesn't seem that the Lakers are even in the car to go down the avenues anyway. So yeah, not a happy recording, not a happy podcast. I don't know how much joy we will be feeling this year as Laker fans, honestly. But that remains to be seen. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers.